Welcome back, folks. It's your boy Luch Dog here from TTR Studios, and I've got a huge tip for you guys here. Make sure you stick around to the end of the video because it won't make sense without the last piece of the puzzle, and it comes at the end. So make sure you just settle in and enjoy. We're all going to learn something today. It's a little tough, but you can handle it. We got this. Just trust me. But let's just take a second and talk about aux sends and how they make my life as a podcaster, a live streamer, and one of the top-rated wedding and event DJs on the whole East Coast just a whole lot easier. So I can't wait to show you guys. And of course, if you like this, definitely subscribe, and we'll have more videos like this for you guys to come. And of course, a couple shows every week for you live stream. So here we go. Let's dive into aux sends and how they are amazing. All right, you guys, a little tutorial here on aux sends. It was really confusing to me until I finally figured out how simple this is. We use this in two different ways, but I want you to realize, like as a podcaster, which is what you probably, or a DJ, when I was a board op for live radio in Washington, D.C., we were a syndication station. And so people, like, we had a show that we were running in San Diego, and I was the board op. The host was in San Diego. And I didn't know this, but this is how I learned it. But you have to have a place where you can speak to each other, as the host and the board op and the producer. They all have to be able to talk, even though they're in different rooms. And so what you do is you set up a virtual green room so that everyone can talk, but it won't go over the air. And really, a lot of the boards that make that easy to do are really, really expensive, but I found a way to do it with just a basic board. Like, this is like a $200-$300 board, okay? It's really nothing special. It's awesome. It gets the job done. It's the Alto Professional Live 1202. And I have another Denon board here, too. They're just 12-channel boards, but what you really need is the aux sends. And that's what I want to talk about today. So you have two of them. I know most videos are quick. I'll try to go fast, but what I wanted to show you is pretty complicated. So I want to make it as simple as possible. And so for that reason, I want to go a little slow here. All right. So just settle in and let's just talk about what these aux sends are and how I can make this virtual green room. What are you talking about? Well, here's what I mean. If my two channels here are my microphone and my co-host's microphone, and he and I are doing a show. We're doing a live broadcast, but we want to be able to mute the microphones and then still be able to talk to each other and have it not go over the air. And so we're talking in the microphones, but it doesn't go to the main mix. We want to send it through our aux sends somewhere else. And what that somewhere else is we actually plug a set of earbuds into these. We have a splitter, right? And one goes to him and one goes to me. And it's only one ear that comes out of this. It's mono. So you just take that ear and you put it in your ear, and then you put your headphones on top of it. So your headphones are hearing the main mix, but the earbud underneath the headphones is hearing whatever is coming out of this aux send. And this aux send is controlled by this top row. Anything that you turn up on this top row now will go through that first aux send, and that's all up here. Okay, so whatever is now coming, whatever you're plugging into this, that's what will be hearing whatever you have turned up here. So we turn up my mic, his mic, right? Everything else is down. And then the beauty of this is, here's where it gets confusing. The top line is pre-fader and the bottom line is post-fader. What that means is whatever you're doing for the aux send, the first aux send, that is going to be a mix that is taking place before your fader. So the chain of events is the sound comes into the mixing board, it hits this, and then it hits this, and then it goes to this. Okay? So if you have this up because it comes first, pre-fader, even if you mute these microphones and turn them down, they're still going to hear, this person's still going to hear whatever is coming into this channel because it's coming pre-fader. If you do it on the bottom and you're plugged into the second one, that's post-fader, and your fader will affect it. Does that make sense? Right, the first line is your sound being affected before it hits this control. So, you can do whatever you want, mute or fade it. It doesn't matter. Whoever is plugged into this top one, because it's pre-fader, if this is up, then they're going to hear it. So what's really weird is like you could be talking to each other. That's how we do it. We literally will be able to hit mute and then go to like, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back in just a minute. It's Luch Dog in the morning. And he'll say TTR Studios. And then we mute it. And I'll say to him, hey, man, that was a really good job. Let's go to this ad next. And nobody is hearing us talking about it because we're talking through the aux sends pre-fader and we've muted everything. It's amazing. And the bottom, it's the same deal, but it's not pre-fader. So whatever is happening here, you're going to hear here. So that's not going to work as far as talking, like to your producer. But so you need to make sure that you're in your top send, and that's your pre-fader send. All right. So I hope that makes sense. Go back and listen to that a couple times. But the way I use it DJing is, if you have. If you're a wedding DJ, for example, and you want to, you're playing Spotify because like people are taking requests, like you have your whole rig and your turntables and everything, or your controller, whatever you're using. And that's what I do. I have that computer on an iMac and all my music. But if somebody asks me for something that I don't have, I have another computer that's on Spotify and I can just pull it up at the spot of a hat, the drop of a hat. But sometimes I don't know the song that they're asking for, and I wish I had a chance to preview it, but my laptop is already, I can't plug any headphones into my laptop because that jack is already being used by going into one of these, right? And that's how I'm getting the sound to the mixing board. So then how am I supposed to preview what song they're talking about if I can't like listen through headphones? Well, you would just have your headphones in the pre-fader aux send. You just plug your headphones into the pre-fader aux send, and then if your computer is coming into 910, for example, then you would just make sure that this aux send is up. And so you keep your fader down so nobody hears it in the party, but you're listening to it and previewing it here because you're listening through your headphones up here. It's not going to work if you do it here because that's post-fader. Remember that, and then that you're not going to hear it because your fader's down. But if you put it in the top one because it's pre-fader, as long as you have your top send up, your matching send, you'll see it says aux 1, and then this says aux 1, and then this says aux 2, and so does this knob say aux 2. So that's a way that you can kind of preview your mix as a DJ, even if you don't have like turntables, and which give you the option to do that. If you're just using a mixing board, all you have to do is plug your headphones into the top aux send, and then whatever channel your computer is coming through, because you're plugged it in up here. Now just make sure your aux send is up, and you'll hear it coming through here, and everything is awesome. So I hope this helps you guys. I know that's a lot of information, but really it's an amazing way that you can talk to each other, because literally if you're on your podcast and you guys have, this is what we do. We have an earbud coming out of here right into our ear. I know I already said this. We've got an earbud coming out of our ear, and then headphones that are also coming out of here. So that's what we do. We plug our headphones into the phone's jack, and then we have an earbud coming out of the top aux send, and then we make sure that my microphone is up and his microphone is up. And so then what happens is, if that's the case, we can talk to each other. I can be like, because we do live switching and everything, and if we're doing a live show, I can be like, hey, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about this, this, and this, and then we go to the guest, and the guest starts talking. I can mute us. The guest is over here on 4 through Skype, so I can just mute us and say to him, hey man, let's go to a break in 30 seconds, and then come back on, and they wouldn't have heard me say, hey, let's go to a break in 30 seconds. It's the best trick that I can possibly give you guys if you're going to be running live broadcasts, because you have to be able to communicate in a way that the audience won't hear you, and it's all done through the pre-fader aux send. All right, I hope this helped you guys. And remember, this board is only like a couple $100. So anything that has these 2 sends, and I'm not positive, but I think if it has 1 send, I'm pretty sure that that's a pre-fader send. If it has 2, I think you get an option of pre and post. So ask them which it is. If you only have 1 option for the sends here, then make sure that you ask them if the send is pre-fader or post-fader. The last thing that you need to know, and this is the trick for the whole thing, and nothing will work if you didn't know this, and this is where it gets really tough, really frustrating, this fader has to be up. If this fader isn't up, I wish I had a fader on it, but if this fader wasn't up, you wouldn't hear anything that's coming out of this. So think of the monitor. Sometimes it's called something different. Monitor, sends, aux send, but think of that as like the main volume of your aux sends. So if you don't have this up, or if you have this muted, for example, it won't work and you won't hear whatever's coming out of the earbuds because your aux sends main volume is over here. That's the thing that really, really frustrated me and we couldn't figure out for the life of us. But yeah, we finally figured it out. I didn't have the monitor fader up, and that's the one you need. So if this isn't up, none of this works. Okay? Make sure that the monitor fader is up. Hopefully this helps you guys. I really just think that this is the best trick that we have. I almost feel bad telling you guys for free, but I want you to have this. I want you to have the knowledge because it really does help when you're doing your live streams, and I'm happy to help you guys do it. So have fun and good luck. Let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to leave them below, and definitely subscribe. That would really help us out. We appreciate your time, and we'll do more like this later. Thanks, guys.